Did you just say that he was poisoned slowly?
Yes, with an untraceable poison.
That's interesting because it's like a thing in Guyana.
Really?
Or, I mean, it's probably a thing everywhere, but
Right.
I'm saying the term slow poison is like a thing Guyanese people say. This is a disclaimer that while discussing this case, we present a lot of our opinions, and our opinions are just that, opinions. They are not facts.
Welcome back, y'all, to episode 2.
Ectoplasm and evil, let's go.
Let's do it. I'm Swasti.
I'm Tenn.
I can't believe we've made it to episode 2.
Yep, it's been over a year in the making, and now you're banging out episode 2, baby.
Yeah, we're getting into some true crime today.
The true crime episode.
That's kind of how this goes. We've got a little supernatural paranormal, and then we've got true crime, and we alternate. But first, we should thank our lovely friends over at Apogee for hooking us up with these hype mics.
Shout out to Apogee once again. If you are an aspiring content creator and you need good audio, the hype mic is the way to go.
It is. It's small. It's portable. It can plug into your phone.
Easy to use. Plug and play.
Yep, that's right.
We also want to give a massive shout out to our boy Adam Eugenio.
Absolutely.
Whoever is out there that's been following me for a minute, then you might already be aware that Adam is my producer. He produces the majority of my tracks. Very talented musician, just all around. After we recorded the first episode that we were putting it together, we realized we did not have theme music.
Yeah.
So I hit up Adam and I was like, yo, man, I just need some spooky fucking shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Some spooky fun, like Halloween vibes.
Exactly. Adam is a guy who he gets a prompt like that, he will run with it. He'll dominate. He'll deliver. So he took that prompt and he delivered. As you guys heard, that track was spooky. It was fun. It was exactly the vibe we were looking for.
Yeah, it's a scream for some terror.
Yeah. Yeah. So massive shout out to Adam Eugenio, very talented musician. Any genre, honestly. We'll put it up on screen for those of you who are watching this. But if you're not, it's at Adam Eugenio. That's EUGENIO at Adam Eugenio on all platforms. Definitely check him out.
Without him, this just wouldn't exist.
It would be musicless.
It would, and that's no fun.
No fun at all.
No, I'm gonna cough.
Good cough.
My throat is dry.
I guess that cough reminds me that we are planning out our hashtag Haunted While High episode.
Yes, we are.
For 420. 420 is almost upon us. That's pretty crazy. The year's flying by.
It is.
Kind of scary.
Yeah.
So if you are out there, if you are listening, if you have stories of being haunted while high,
submit them.
We would love to hear them. You know where to contact us on socials.
You can also email us at ectoplasmandevil@gmail.com.
Yep. So feel free to get in touch with us any way you can. We would, I
keep doing that too.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm hitting the hype mic.
It's a new setup this week, you guys.
New setup this week. We're trying something new. That's all. You know?
Growing pains.
Yeah. But yeah, so get in contact with us any way you can. If you have a story about being haunted while you were high, any type of paranormal story that you may have, but while you were high.
You have to have been high.
You have to have been high at the time to share your story. I'm sure that's the case for a lot of you. Actually, that's funny because our friend Elizabeth was haunted while high.
She was
so
haunted
we'll save her
high.
story for the 420 episode.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, and her grandma said she was haunted because she was high.
Yeah.
It was retribution. It was sort of like the universe punishing you for
being high.
I don't know if you guys can hear the rain in the background.
It's fucking
but
going.
There's a lot of it.
It lends to the ambiance. I'm like feeling that, honestly.
It does lend to the ambiance, yeah. So there you go.
Nice.
It's pretty fucking
loud.
spooky, yeah.
There's in the Bay Area, I forgot what they're calling it, but there's like a name for like the rain that's happening. It's
this
like
weekend?
some sort of like
weekend?
like a river thing. Yeah.
This weekend. So the one weekend that we go.
The one weekend that we're going.
That's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
What?
It's
we gonna have to drive in that? And
we're gonna have to drive in that. We're gonna have to take Olo
plus
out
on
in
Sunday
that.
night we go into the concert. I'm gonna be all fresh and shit.
I think Sunday there's no rain.
Oh, Sunday there's no rain.
So we're spared rain on Sunday, but it's today and tomorrow, and they like have some crazy name for it. Some sort of a river.
See, when they got a name for it, that's when you know like you're in for it.
That's when you know. I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna bother me.
Yeah. Okay. Look it up.
Give me a second. Atmospheric river. They're calling it the atmospheric river.
That sounds fucked up.
It does, right?
Not feeling that.
No. It's not the vibe.
Not the vibe. Boom. Well, I guess should we get into this episode?
Yeah, let's get into this episode. Back to true crime. Those of you who know me from outside of this, like from TikTok, you know that true crime is one of my niches. I haven't delivered one in 6 months. I haven't given you a true crime story, but that was because...
You got to give the people what they want.
That's because I was waiting to release more videos with the podcast.
Smart.
So that you could watch the the smaller stories that I do and then listen to these detailed accounts.
We can expand upon it.
Exactly. Otherwise, it would be like staggered. I'm giving you a thing and then like 3 months later, you're getting a podcast.
Right.
So like there's no fun in that. We got to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I took a long break. We got married in that time. That was obviously taking over my life.
Wedding planning really just consumed
It did.
our entire state of being.
It did.
Yeah.
So we were unable to focus on this at all.
But it was all worth it.
It was.
We had a good time.
Good
that
vibes.
We've been putting out good vibes. Yeah.
The vibes are the most important thing, you know, because I feel like if I was doing true crime during vibe time, nah.
Yeah.
So we saved it and we're giving it to you now. I did do one last week. It didn't do that well, but yeah, it's all good.
You know, the algorithm is trifling.
The algorithm has booted me, I feel, from the true
Trifling.
crime
It's
because I
trifling.
haven't done it
You
in
got to
so
reclaim
long.
your spot.
I do.
Yeah.
And we're doing it
Doing it now.
with this podcast.
Goddamn right.
Hell yeah.
Maybe the new setup.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you set up
You know what
will
I'm
do
saying?
something.
Maybe that's all you need is the new setup.
That's right. So without further ado, let's talk about the murder of 16-year-old Neesa Gopaul.
Oh boy. 16 years old.
16 years old.
I already know that I'm in for something gruesome.
Yes, this takes place in Guyana.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
It was very important to me that we do a Guyanese episode.
Oh my God. Okay, so close to home.
I actually hadn't heard about this before, so once again, shedding light on an entirely new story.
I mean, I'm Guyanese and I haven't heard about it.
Yeah.
How recent was this?
This was pretty recent, actually. This was in 2010.
Oh, that's very recent.
Very recent.
We were still in college.
We were still in college, and just last year, there were new things that happened with this case.
New details?
New details. So we're going to get through all of it, and you're not going to like what happens in the end. Spoiler alert. There's
You
some
know, why
fucked
is
up
that
shit.
such a common thread?
That's a great question.
You know what I mean? That's just such a common thread. Like these fucked up things happen, and then there's also, I'm assuming, that there's no justice. That's probably why you said that.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay.
The
awesome.
justice that would have been gets overturned.
Great. Okay, great.
So, partially. Fully fucked up. I'm going to apologize in advance for any Wow, I can't even pronounce the word
Yo,
that I was just
you just mispronounced mispronunciation. Yo,
I
that's
did.
crazy.
That's so funny.
Damn.
Apologies in advance for any mispronunciations. There are definitely some words I'm going to
That
mispronounce.
was some meta shit right there.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. We're keeping that. We're
Yeah,
keeping that fuck up.
Keep that right in there. That's
Yeah.
a social clip.
That is a social clip. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. All the information I have on this case is via different articles written by Patrick Carpin, Femi Harris-Smith, articles in the Guyana Times with unlisted authors, and an article in the Guyana Chronicle written by an unnamed staff writer. I'm also going to give everyone a trigger warning for sexual assault and pedophilia.
Oh boy.
It's going to go there.
Already. Well, okay. We're
Yeah.
we're already in the territory.
We're already in the territory.
I had a feeling.
So imagine the day is October 2nd, the year is 2010, and you're a tourist in Guyana, right? You're just trying to have a good time, taking all the sights. You went all that way. You go to the Madawini Creek near the Emerald Tower Resort.
The crick.
The Creek.
Gotta say it right in Guyana.
The Creek. Yeah, you know, you're right. We're in Guyana. You're walking around and you see a suitcase and you're just like, huh, I wonder what that suitcase is doing over there. It's seemingly kind of in the middle of nowhere. So you're curious. You go to check it out, right? You open it up. What do you find?
Is it a dead body?
It is. It's the
Jesus.
badly decomposed body of a girl. Now let's take it back and start from the beginning and give context as to how we got here in the first place. Neesa's biological father, Javed Gopal, met her mother, Bibi Sharima Gopal, while working at a restaurant. Neesa's father was married at the time and ended his first marriage to be with Bibi. They had 2 daughters and Neesa was their firstborn. Unfortunately, a few years later, Neesa's father got sick and eventually died of liver failure.
Oh boy.
Now, there are rumors that he was poisoned slowly with some sort of untraceable poison, but these rumors are unfounded.
Did you just say that he was poisoned slowly?
Yes, with an untraceable poison.
That's interesting because it's like a thing in Guyana.
Really?
Or, I mean, it's probably a thing everywhere, but
Right.
I'm saying the term slow poison is like a thing Guyanese people say.
No way.
In fact, people, I mean, it's a fucked up thing to joke about, but people often joke with elderly folks or whatever, if like the husband passes away first and like him and the wife used to bicker or whatever,
Yeah.
people will often say like, she must be slow poison your ass.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm serious. I've heard that joke many times. Maybe in some cases it was true. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a saying because it must happen.
Yeah.
I'll say this is the first time I've ever heard like an actual account of it potentially legitimately
No
happening.
way.
I've normally heard it as a joke.
I feel like a lot of jokes, especially darker ones, come from
they're
somewhere.
rooted in truth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said that it's potential that
It's potential. These rumors are unfounded because there's no evidence. There's no proof that this was the case, like nothing concrete.
Well, that's the whole point of slow poisoning.
Exactly. It's untraceable. It just makes sense that that's how it would go. Yeah, but this is, and I'm going to get into the details regarding like what lends credibility to this claim and many other details that I'm about to go over when we move into the testimony given by BB's cellmate. And we're going to do that later on.
BB is the wife?
BB is the wife. You may have questions. Those are going to be answered with this testimony.
Okay.
Just bear with me.
And you said cellmate, meaning BB is ending up in prison.
BB is ending up in prison.
For the slow poison?
For the murder of her daughter.
Get the fuck out of here. So she murdered her daughter.
Yes, that's where we're going with this. Yeah.
Man, this is a fucked up case.
Oh, it's about to be a
this
real
is a
fucked up case. You think that's bad?
This is a fucked up case.
Yeah.
Ah, man. What type of people, like, it's...
You have a kid and this is what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this type of shit that we hear is like gruesome and macabre anyway. Yes. But even more so when it's from someone that you're like... just by nature supposed to be able to trust.
Yeah, that's your parent. That's your mom.
That should be the person that protects you from any sort of harm.
You grew in her womb. She's supposed to be there for you. Yeah, that's the ultimate.
Like for me, I can like blindly depend that my mother would protect me against all odds.
Absolutely.
Like
against everything.
And then some. And it's shocking to me that that's not the default.
No, I know. It's nuts.
Wow. So that's even sadder. I did not know that was the turn that we were taking.
That is the turn that we are going to take.
Okay. All right. So we're at, so Javid passes away.
Yes.
Due to potential, and it sounds like probable.
Slow poison. BB, as it turns out, was actually having an affair with a personal trainer at a gym she joined.
There it is. Isn't that like a classic fucking murder plot point?
It is.
You have one spouse having an affair.
Yeah.
And then they bump off the other spouse.
Yeah, instead of just, I don't know, getting a divorce.
Or just being, exactly. Just get a fucking divorce and live your life if that's what you want to do. Like, why?
Why do you have to resort to murdering someone in cold blood?
Was it for money? Did she get life insurance or did she get inheritance or whatever?
We're gonna get into all of that.
Yeah, I bet.
We're gonna get into all of that.
She was having an affair.
She's having an affair with a personal trainer at a gym she joined. His name was Jarvis Barry Small.
Okay.
So after her husband died, Barry moved in to live with her and her two daughters, Neesa and Mary. Barry was abusive, and according to our witness testimony, Neesa was being drugged and raped by Barry with her mother's knowledge.
Get the fuck out of here. What type of shit is this?
Yeah.
What type of shit is this?
Once again, the woman who's supposed to be protecting you.
So she had an affair with this fucking rapist.
Yeah.
Brought the rapist into the house with her children and then let the rapist rape her children.
Yeah. Alleged rapist.
Alleged. Why is it alleged?
I'm saying alleged because of that stupid end result that we're going to get to.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like the most fucking horrendous shit I've ever heard. Like this, I don't think you could get worse details than this in a case. All right, well.
Yeah.
Carry on.
It's important to note that Neesa did in fact report to the police that she was being raped, but later rescinded her statement saying that she had lied.
So obviously then right after she reported it, her mom and probably Barry threatened her into recanting.
That's what
obviously
would think.
Fucking happened.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked up is like when something like that happens, right? You would think as a police officer or a police precinct, a teenage girl comes in and reports that she's being raped at home by her stepfather.
Yeah.
And then shortly comes back in and says, you know what? Never mind. You don't think like the light bulb doesn't fucking go off? Oh, this girl must have been threatened.
Let's maybe investigate that claim.
Maybe we should investigate. Maybe we should pretend like we bought it,
right?
But actually look into it. Maybe we should pull up. Maybe we should look at this dude. Maybe we should question him.
Yeah, maybe we should do a little research.
Maybe we should call the girl in and be like, "Yo, you know what? This is a safe space.
Exactly.
If something's really going on, let us know and we can help you.
Yeah.
We'll get you away from this dude. Yeah. We'll lock him up." I'm not shocked, I guess, based on things that I've heard about authorities over there.
Authorities, like, honestly, anywhere.
Right. It sucks that you can't always...
You can't trust.
That's like a running theme here. Like, you can't... Who can you fucking
You can't trust no one.
This poor girl, Neesa, was failed on multiple levels by everyone. Carry on.
Now, there are two motives for Neesa's murder. The first was to stop Neesa from reporting the repeated rapes, and the second was to remove her as the only person in the way of claiming ownership of the property which her father had given to her before he died.
I see.
Which answers your question from before.
So that serves as a pretty good motive for a shitty human being.
Exactly.
You know what's fucked up too is like the land thing is like a common... It's like kind of a common joke too. Not in the sense of murdering your children,
Right.
but it's a common joke in terms of like families fighting over land. Not, of course, resorting to murder.
Right.
Obviously, I think that's probably like...
Now that you say that, like I've definitely heard that. Same thing in India.
Yeah, it's in a lot of places. But like, I guess it does happen so often that it's usually when grandparents die type of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And it, like, or as in like family matriarchs or patriarchs.
Right.
Die and they have homes or property or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a dispute amongst the children as to like who's owed what.
Yeah.
Because I guess oftentimes it's not even, maybe they have a kid that they think deserves more, or
Right.
I'm not really sure, but like it differs in different situations.
Yeah.
But like fighting over land is a trope.
Same. Like same
yeah.
thing with in India.
It's a trope, yeah.
I've seen so many like TikToks about it.
This is the first time that I've actually heard it be this gruesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm sure it's not the only time too.
Sure, it's not the only time. I'm sure. Unfortunately, I'm sure it's not the only time.
Allegedly, Barry pressured Bibi into murdering her daughter, and eventually she decided, yeah, let's go through with it. So apparently this is allegedly Barry's brainchild.
Man, fuck Barry and fuck Bibi.
Yeah. You can't just throw this
fuck-
guy
yeah.
under the bus. But fuck you more, actually.
Fuck Bibi even more. She's the person that brought Barry into the picture.
Yeah, she's the mom.
She's the mom.
So she like absolutely is worse.
That's crazy, man. To even start having a relationship with somebody like that.
I can't imagine ever being in that position and saying, oh yeah, this is a great fucking guy.
And have him move into your house.
Yeah.
Have him raping your daughter.
Yeah. But you know what's fucked up is that's not as uncommon.
No, that type of thing is coming out more and more right now, especially
is.
because of social like media giving
Yes.
people a platform to share
Yeah.
their experience.
Huge
Yeah.
props to everyone who survived something that
Yeah.
horrific.
I can't imagine.
You're all amazing people.
The glaring lesson from that, or I guess revelation from that, is just like, look how many people the system is failing.
Yep.
Or not the system, just like the world in general is failing.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe just a little bit more vigilance could help
Save someone from
stop
this
that,
situation.
could stop that from happening. Obviously, we can't say because we weren't there, but it just sucks that like teachers or someone that sees her
I
every
know.
day like wouldn't necessarily notice that, like, yeah, even just the fact that her father passed away, you would think that somebody might pay just like a little bit closer attention to
Yeah.
like how's things with you.
Right. Just to check in.
Yeah.
So on the day of her murder, Neesa and Mary were taken to a place called Royal Castle for lunch.
Mary's her little sister.
Yes, Mary's her little sister.
Is Mary also a victim?
No,
So Mary's still alive.
Mary is still alive. So they were taken to a place called Royal Castle for lunch and were asked if they wanted to go for a long drive after, and they were down. You know, long drives are fun, especially when you're younger. I loved long drives.
Mm-hmm.
The four of them then headed up the highway with Bibi driving, Neesa in the passenger seat, Barry behind her, and Mary next to him. They arrived near Splashman's Fun Park, and Bibi turned onto a trail to the Emerald Towers Resort, which was Neesa's favorite place, making this even more fucked up.
Wow.
I can't even imagine, like, your parents, they tell you they're taking you to your favorite place, and then or your mom in this case, and then they betray you.
There's no words to
No.
there's no words to describe.
So they drove for approximately 1 mile, stopped, and Barry got out of the car, dragged Neesa out by her neck, and as she was panting for breath while Bibi turned the music up in the vehicle to make sure Mary didn't wake up, Barry took Neesa around the car, and she fell to her knees and screamed, "Mary, Mary, wake up," which is being drowned out by the music. Barry then took a piece of wood out of the car and started to hit the back of Neesa's head. He continued to hit her as she laid there on the ground. Her head was battered beyond recognition. The last sound Bibi heard from her daughter was a moaning sound.
This is fucking outrageous.
Yeah. And when the sound finally stopped, Barry picked up Neesa's lifeless body, placed it in the car, and they returned home.
Placed it in the car?
Yes, in the trunk of the car.
So, yeah, okay. Now, her mom just stood there and let this man bludgeon her daughter to death.
Yeah.
Were there witnesses to this?
There's no witnesses to this. However, this is all going to come back into play because of testimony.
Got it.
Yeah.
Whose testimony?
The cellmate. Bibi basically is going to tell the cellmate a bunch of details.
I see. Bibi recounted this
Yes.
tale
Yes.
to her cellmate.
Yeah. This entire case is going to hinge on that testimony.
Yeah, that was such a fucked up recount. Like, that was a horrible thing to hear.
Yeah, it's absolutely obviously heinous. And then to be, once again, you're her mom. They stuffed Neesa's body into a suitcase and took it to a creek near the Emerald Towers Resort. They attached dumbbells to the suitcase to keep it at the bottom of the creek. The next day, Bibi went to the police station and filed a missing persons report.
Oh, fucking classic.
They thought they covered their tracks well, but not well enough because that suitcase rose to the surface of the creek and was found by our tourists on vacation. The police got to the scene of the crime, where they were able to piece together some evidence that implicated Bibi and Barry. They found items including the matching set of dumbbells, Neesa's bank card and passport, which naturally would be in her mother's possession. Why would they be in a suitcase otherwise? Barry and Bibi were arrested after Neesa's body was found. Their trial began, and the prosecutor's case rested on the testimony of Bibi's cellmate, Simone King. So everything from here on until I say so is a part of Simone's testimony.
So they got locked up.
They got locked up.
Pending trial.
Pending trial.
Okay, and while they were locked up pending trial,
Yes.
that's when Bibi
Starts kind of just confessing a bunch of things
to her cellmate Simone.
Yes.
Okay,
And
then Simone was like, "This is extremely fucked up.
Yeah.
I need to tell
Simone's
them."
like, I bet I'm a mom too. Fuck this shit. So Simone said that Bibi was very easy to talk to, and the two of them would talk about many things. She said one night, Bibi had a bad dream where she was screaming, "No, Barry, stop." Simone said Bibi asked her, quote, if someone had died a year ago of poisoning and the authorities wanted to exhume the body and perform an autopsy, could they find out that the person died of poisoning?
Oh, so she was inquiring as to whether she could get caught for slow poison.
Yes.
Okay, so she obviously did that shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Simone said that she had no idea, and Bibi said that she didn't want to find out either, which is pretty shady. There's only one reason to be concerned.
Only one reason to be concerned.
Because you fucking did it.
Because you did it.
According to Simone, Bibi told her she knew a lot of people and she wanted someone to go dig up the grave of her ex-husband Javed. She said she wanted it dug up as early as possible and at any cost. Simone then said Bibi told her, quote, after I tell you something, then you would understand. It wasn't me. Barry killed Neesa. Then Bibi went on to tell Simone that she first met Barry in March 2010. He was a gym instructor and Bibi was overweight and wanted to start her fitness journey. She told Barry that she wanted to lose about 20 pounds. Simone said that Bibi told her when she began her relationship with Barry, she was uncomfortable in her troubled marriage, so she moved out on her own for 2 weeks. According to Simone, Bibi said that she and Barry rented an apartment, and she wanted to be with him because he made her just so happy. She then said she moved back home because of her 2 daughters, but her marriage was still crumbling. Simone then claimed that Bibi said Barry told her the only way to make things better was if Javed was out of the picture. So she said Barry gave her some tablets and told her to put small amounts in the food, so he'd die without any suspicion being cast on them since it would look natural.
So Barry gave her the fucking poison.
Yes, according to her. This is all what she's telling Simone.
Right.
But, I mean, it adds up.
Yeah.
Adds
No,
up
that
to me.
that adds up. Yeah.
Yeah. According to Simone, Bibi told her that from time to time Barry would call to check up on Javed's health and that during some of those conversations he would get upset and angry, telling her that she wasn't giving Javed enough tablets and it seemed as if she didn't actually want him to die. So the next day Barry brought some powdered poison over and told her to start putting that in Javed's meals, and soon enough Javed started complaining that his food had something in it.
Oh, so he felt it.
He noticed that there's something very wrong here.
Did he stop eating it?
No, he didn't. She must have obviously convinced him otherwise. Oh, just using a new spice, sweetie. Simone said Bibi told her that after Javed started to get worse, she took him to St. Joseph Mercy Hospital, where a doctor ran some tests which revealed his kidneys were failing. The doctor told her to just take him home since there was nothing more the hospital could do for him.
Did they just chalk it up to like, oh, your kidney's failing, but we don't know why, and we're not going to figure it out?
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised Javed didn't mention his suspicion as far as I know, because no investigation was launched into this.
Right. It almost sounds like even if he had, they still wouldn't have investigated.
Yeah, they would have cared, as we've seen with
Yeah.
Neesa and what happened to her. So yeah, nobody actually gives a shit about anyone's real problems.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so the hospital said, hey, this guy's got kidney failure. or kidney and liver failure.
Yeah.
Nothing we could do.
Later, according to Simone, Javed called Neesa, Mary, and Bibi in the presence of someone called Brother Shahab. And I'm going to be really honest here. I didn't see much other information about Brother Shahab, so I can't tell you who he is in relation to the family, but he was around during this call.
Okay, so could be Javed's biological brother.
Yeah.
Could be a term of endearment for
Yeah.
a very close friend or cousin.
Right.
Okay.
But there is a Brother Shahab. He's very much in this picture, and he's very much around during this specific phone call.
Okay.
Javed allegedly told Brother Shahab that he was dying and wasn't going to make it, and he wanted Brother Shahab to marry Bibi after he died so he could assist with raising the girls. After Brother Shahab left, they all went to bed. This is the only instance in which I heard about Brother Shahab. I never heard about him after this.
Okay. So it sounds like, obviously, him and Bibi did not get married, but it sounds like he wasn't necessarily checking in on the girls or anything like that.
Not as far as I read, not as far as I know. This is the only instance where I found anything about him at all.
Man, I would love to know if, like, Neesa had any sort of a relationship with him or...
Yeah.
Because it sounds like if that's who Javed is calling on his, like, deathbed...
Right. It's someone important.
Someone he considered a very close friend.
Yeah.
And for me, if one of my very close friends had not even like if I knew that this kind of situation was happening, I would absolutely take it upon myself to check on their family.
Yeah.
If they had passed away, legitimately make sure, like if I had any inkling that Bibi brought this new guy into the house,
Yeah.
and let me make sure that he's getting along with the kids.
Right.
Let me make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I guess we don't know what the deal is, but potentially another person that just failed.
Yeah. Absolutely. According to Simone, Bibi said she got up around 3 a.m. the following day and went to check up on Javed and found that he was not breathing and appeared to be dead. Immediately after that, she contacted Barry and he came over to confirm that Javed was indeed dead. After Barry left, Bibi then started to scream to really sell this natural death, like she just discovered it.
Okay.
She had no idea.
Of course, now her acting starts.
Yeah, and the Oscar goes to Bibi. Javed was buried on the same day he was discovered dead, and about 2 weeks later, Bibi started to feel lonely and depressed. Simone said after Javed's death, Barry moved in, which made Bibi's parents pretty upset. During that time, however, she and Barry got along very well, which seemed in turn to upset Neesa, which that's pretty natural since since her dad just died and
Just
her mom
passed away.
brought some fucking guy home.
No grieving period.
None.
I mean, to be like, even that aspect of it makes it obvious that you did something.
Yeah, it's shady.
Shady as fuck.
Like,
He just passed away and all of a sudden you got a new dude.
you're lonely and depressed, but you have this new dude.
Right.
He's ready to go. He's in the house.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so
Yeah.
so Bibi had parents in this picture.
Bibi had parents in this picture.
I
Never
mean-
hear really much about them either.
Okay, that's interesting. So
They're
not
upset about it, but they're not checking up on
not
it.
concerned enough grandparents that they were seeing what was really going on. Did Javed have parents?
I mean, I'm sure he had parents, but
Or
I don't have.
alive at the time and
I don't have any information about Javed's side of the family beyond Brother Shahab.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the other thing is like we don't know. Maybe the grandparents did offer her to come, and
Maybe.
she didn't want to.
That's the
maybe,
thing, yeah, we just
maybe
don't
maybe
know.
she was threatened into not going.
Yeah. Could
all
have been anything.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but man, yeah, I wish that there were other adults, neighbors, anybody. that would-
Anybody.
yeah.
Anybody who could have helped prevent this. Shortly after, however, according to Bibi, Barry and Neesa started getting along very well. And at times, when Bibi went into the room, she'd find them having conversations.
Sounds like maybe or potentially grooming.
Yes. Bibi said that Barry told her that Neesa wants what Bibi has, and that was him, like Barry. After Bibi told Barry that she was stressed out and depressed, he told her that he had some Dr. Chase's nerve tablets for her to relax. He got this medication from a friend who owned a drugstore and allegedly told her to drink 8 tablets per day. Which, if you're asking me, that seems like another case of slow poison waiting to happen.
And she drank them?
No,
She didn't.
no, she didn't. She didn't do all that.
Right, because she assumed that the man who gave her instructions on how to slow poison someone else was not necessarily the person to be taking medication.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone could be like 8 tablets a day sounds a little fucking excessive.
Yeah.
So she very much didn't do that, or didn't at least continue to do that, because she doesn't die. So
Right.
yeah. According to Simone, Bibi said Barry told her to lie on the bed and pretend to be asleep, and he would prove to her how much Neesa wanted him.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fucked up guy. She said she made Barry promise her that he would not touch Neesa, and allegedly Neesa came in and was dancing and taking her clothes off. I'm just going to say this sounds like some bullshit BB like convinced herself
That's
up
straight
and
fucking
made up.
bullshit. That's straight fucking bullshit.
Yeah, just to clear her own conscience.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just make an excuse
100%.
for herself, because there's just no fucking way.
Every detail she's said is to make herself look like she was a completely innocent party.
Yeah. So she's blaming everyone, including her daughter, who can't even defend herself.
Correct.
Shortly after, Barry told Bibi that Neesa had mentioned to him that she heard her mother having a conversation with someone on the phone about how she poisoned her father, resulting in Neesa going to the police station and reporting that she was being raped. The police then sent Neesa back to go get her mother. They both came back to the police station, and then Neesa told the police that she had lied about being raped by Barry.
Oh, so it was an immediate fucking...
Yes.
So,
I was waiting to get to this part because you mentioned this earlier, and I was just like, I can't wait for you to hear this.
So, okay. A teenage girl comes into the police department, says that at home her her mom's boyfriend is raping her, and your response as a police officer is go back to that house right now and then get your mom and come back here.
Yeah, because we can't just trust what you're saying.
You can't just they should have sent her with a fucking police escort.
Yeah.
To at the same time arrest Barry.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, she just went and said that she was raped. And I would imagine that, like, as a police officer, you're hearing that, you must immediately think, like, well, it's kind of curious that your mom hasn't done anything about this.
Right.
Right?
/ all of a sudden you're changing what you're saying when you get back.
When you get back, yeah. But I'm saying from the jump.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? It's kind of curious that your mom hasn't done anything about this.
Yeah.
Instead, they just sent her, they just passing the buck, right? They're like,
Yep.
all right, like probably some clerical red tape shit. I bet it was like, oh, you can't like file a police report unless you're 18 or you have a parent or guardian.
Yeah,
so
probably.
You got to go back and fucking get your mom.
Even though, like, there should be obvious exceptions.
So she went back home and she was like, Mom, I was at the police station to tell them that Barry was raping me. And they said, I got to come get you to make the police report. And her mom was like, don't fucking say that.
Yeah.
You know, take it back right now. Threatened the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Who knows what she said. And then took her back to the police station and she recanted. That is the most obvious.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking obvious.
And then the police, once again, did nothing with that.
That's some fucking bullshit. Like, that is an epic failure.
It is.
Do we have any information on, after this case happened, if any action was taken against those police officers?
As far as I looked into it, no.
Because that's, like, epic failure.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's, like, the most abysmal failure.
It is. Like, who are you protecting and serving at this point?
Deadass. If I'm a police officer and that shit, I'm going straight to the crib.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going straight to the crib right now. Is Barry at the crib? If I'm going to the crib and Barry's there, fucking God help Barry because...
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I feel that. Absolutely. Bibi also said on one occasion, after scolding Neesa about something she had done, Neesa got angry and confronted her about poisoning her father. Bibi then allegedly told Simone that after that, Barry told her the situation with Neesa was getting out of hand. He then said they should get rid of her because she was only going to cause trouble. Mm-hmm. Which is like, what do you mean by that? Like, expose the truth? Yeah, expose your shit?
Yeah.
Like, okay. According to Simone, Bibi said Barry suggested that they should send Neesa away to Venezuela, but that option was ruled out because she would probably come back when she was 18 and get a hold of the land that her father left her, which is rightfully hers, but of course they don't want that.
Nope. She
said that Barry also suggested they take Neesa along the Sosodike-Linden Highway. They'd burn wood to make coal, and then suggested that they push her into that. But Bibi said that she didn't like that idea, so that option was also ruled out.
She preferred a different method of murder.
Yes. Simone said Bibi told her she was feeling drowsy one night, so she got up to drink some water when she saw Barry and Neesa in a very compromising position, and she said, quote, "What the fuck?" She was so angry she went to the kitchen, got a knife, and confronted Barry. As Barry was trying to grab the knife from her, he was cut on his index finger and thumb, after which Neesa intervened and also received some cuts. Neesa immediately ran out of the house, and Barry got up and went to get a needle and thread to stitch the wounds. Barry then told Bibi he was going out to look for Neesa. He called Bibi to inform her that he had found Neesa at his wife, Marcy's house.
Barry had a wife?
Barry had a wife this whole time.
That was a detail that I didn't hear.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't share it till now. This is when it like...
This entire time, Barry has a separate wife.
Yes.
Okay, so Barry was having an affair as well.
Barry was also having an affair.
What's Barry's wife been doing this whole fucking time? Are they officially separated?
Here's the thing. I don't think so because Marcy will threaten BB later on. So I feel like he's
Marcy's Barry's wife.
Yeah, Marcy's Barry's wife. And I feel like he's probably just running around back and forth between the two houses.
Okay, so Barry found Neesa at Marcy's house.
Yes.
Did she just go back there to be like, could you take your husband back?
I would totally get it if that's what she did.
Or
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what she was doing there, but that's supposedly where he found her.
Okay.
He said he was going to take her to a hotel and ensure that she was safe for the night. Around 10 a.m. the next day, Barry and Neesa arrived while BB was in her room. Barry then entered, and they had an argument during which Barry grabbed a cell phone and hit BB's head with it. BB said after Barry left, Neesa saw the wound, smiled, and said that she was happy that they broke up. Shortly after, Barry told BB that Neesa was causing trouble. Simone then said that BB told her that there was never any backup plan for the outcome of what they were planning. A few days later, she told her daughters that she was going to take them out to buy some chicken and they'd pick Barry up. Neesa was sitting, as you know, in the front passenger seat. Mary and Barry were sitting in the back seat, with Barry directly behind Neesa. They then went to Royal Castle and to the seawalls after. And this takes us back to the actual murder, which we've already spoken about. Now, here is a really interesting tidbit from Simone's testimony that I didn't share before.
Okay.
Because it would have just been too much at that point in time. After brutally murdering Neesa, and when they all went home, Simone claimed that BB saw Barry's wife Marcy at the gate. Marcy was upset and told BB...
At the gate of the home?
Yes.
Okay.
You not go left my husband alone? If you don't leave my husband alone, I will take the tapes to the police.
You not gonna left my husband alone? I will take the tapes to the... What tapes does she have?
Yes. Marcy told BB that Barry had recorded the conversation they had before BB poisoned her husband, Javed.
So she had evidence of the slow poison?
Yes, so Marcy had evidence.
And she didn't take it to the police this whole time?
Yeah, and it doesn't get taken to the police at all.
Okay, so
this is once again, this is
fuck
all
Marcy
to
too then, bruh.
Yeah.
Fuck almost everybody in this story.
Yeah, except for Neesa and Mary. Fuck everybody.
So, hold up. That's insane. So, and then did she take the tapes anywhere?
No. These tapes never see the light of day. BB could have made this up, but like, why would she make this up?
It's a random detail.
Yeah, it's to
suggest that there's evidence against her that
exactly.
exists. Yeah.
So like, all of that is fucking nuts.
Okay.
This case is all over the place. It's literally 2 murders, but they're only tried for 1.
And Marcy could have done something to bring these people to justice.
Yeah.
She's just sitting on them tapes.
We don't know what happened to them tapes.
Right. She decided to use it as a bargaining chip to get Barry back.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you want Barry back?
Like, who the fuck wants Barry?
Like, you lucked out that Barry is not with you right now.
Yeah. Simone said that BB got down on her knees and pleaded with Marcy not to cause a big commotion because the police would come by, which obviously she didn't want. She told Marcy that she would stay away from Barry. She left and took Mary to bed and got ready to go to sleep. Barry called to check in on her and told her that while he had the rope around Neesa's neck, Mary had opened her eyes, looked at him, and went back to sleep. Barry then told her that if Mary had gotten up, they would have had to get rid of her too.
Wow.
Simone then said that BB told her that she went to check on Neesa's body the next morning. She said that BB didn't want to use her hands, so she used a stick and poked the body to ensure that Neesa was really dead. She took Mary to her grandparents' house and went to the police station to report that Neesa was missing.
Okay, so clearly the grandparents are close enough.
Yeah, they're local.
Like, they're local enough that you could drop the kids off there.
Right.
Okay. I'm curious as to what transpired in terms of how much the grandparents were aware of and stuff
yeah,
like that.
I was curious about that too. I couldn't find anything about it. She then spoke to Barry, who told her to get a sheet and a suitcase along with Neesa's passport and bank card, and said that Barry told her they'd use the dumbbells along with some ropes attached to the suitcase to keep the suitcase submerged, and they'd take it back over to the Emerald Towers. She said Barry told her they'd leave that night in separate cars. So they went back to the Emerald Towers, and Barry helped wrap the body in the sheet and placed it in the suitcase along with the bank book and passport that the police would find later. They attached the rope and dumbbells to the suitcase, dragged it to the creek, and dropped it in. Simone said that Bibi told her the next day she washed the trunk of the car thoroughly. Then they took the car to a car wash to have it cleaned. After this, Barry told her to buy 2 pounds of fresh meat and put the dogs in the trunk with the fresh meat the entire day. So in case the police suspected anything, they would find evidence of the meat they fed the dogs in there instead of DNA evidence linking to Neesa. She said that Bibi told her that during one of the conversations with Barry, he told her that Neesa said that her father had left a large sum of money for herself and Mary, but Neesa could only access it after turning 18, and Mary's like super young at this point.
Right.
After Neesa said that, Bibi and Barry made arrangements to go see a lawyer, but they didn't pay attention to the hours and the office was closed, so they had to go back home. Barry then allegedly told Bibi that he wanted her to sign a document to make him power of attorney. Afterwards, Barry told Bibi to pack a bag with clothes for them to travel to Suriname so the police would not suspect anything. Sometime after, Bibi said that she heard a knock on the gate and she went down to the person who identified himself as a police officer. She said the officer told her that they believed they had found her daughter's body and that he would like her to come and identify it. The officer saw the packed suitcase in her car and asked her if she was going somewhere, but she said no and that they always kept a suitcase in the trunk since they were in the habit of going on trips. She said that she asked the officer if she could go upstairs and change her clothes, and she called Barry. Marcy answered, and Bibi told her that the police were at her house and they may have found Neesa's body and they needed to go identify the body. However, before Marcy handed the phone to Barry, she told Bibi she should wear something black as if she were mourning. Which, like, you don't...
Marcy told Bibi that?
Yeah, you don't like Bibi, so I don't understand. What's this about? The prosecution asked Simone how long it took Bibi to tell her the story, and her reply was, quote, "We spoke for 5 days." They also asked her if she could recall the date Bibi came into the New Amsterdam prison, and she replied October 15th. They also questioned why she decided to tell the court the story, and her response was, quote, "Because I am a mother who loves my sons dearly. My job is to protect them. I couldn't carry such a weight and live with myself. I felt that Neesa deserves to get justice. And no matter what, Neesa didn't deserve to die by the hands of someone she trusted,
Facts.
by the hands of someone who was supposed to protect her." Simone spoke to the police on October 20th, 2010, and said, "At the time, I was charged with a number of false pretense charges," adding that she had been convicted and imprisoned for 5 years. The prosecutor then questioned Simone about Bibi's demeanor when she told the story, and she said Bibi didn't appear the least bit remorseful. So now we're done with Simone's testimony, and I'm going to move on to all the results.
Okay.
In 2015, Bibi was sentenced to serve 106 years, while Barry was sentenced to 96 years.
So this trial didn't happen until 5 years later?
Yes.
Okay.
By Justice Navindra Singh for Neesa's murder. They appealed this, and that trial was set for October 19th, 2020. Their sentence was commuted to 45 years.
Both of them?
Both of them. And then, in August 2022, literally last year, the Caribbean Court of Justice overturned Barry's sentence.
Overturned it?
Overturned it.
Overturned it for what?
I'm going to tell you.
Did they overturn Bibi's?
No.
But they overturned Barry's?
They overturned Barry's. His attorney, Nigel Hughes, said that there was no direct or circumstantial evidence linking his client to the crime, and the state failed to prove a nexus between the dumbbells and Neesa's death. Justice Dennis Barrow, who read the judgment of the 5-panel bench, said that regarding the case against Barry, there were 3 matters of evidence, which were 1, reports that he sexually assaulted Neesa, 2, a pair of dumbbells found with the suitcase in which her body was discovered and reported to have been belonging to him, and 3, a statement by Barry that he did not in fact murder the teen, but knew who did. The CCJ rejected the prosecution's arguments that the reports of sexual assault provided motive, describing them as pure speculation that Barry had the motive to kill Neesa to avoid prosecution for sexual assault. Justice Barrow said, quote, "Barry was gravely prejudiced by the joint trial. He was convicted on the strength of evidence which was completely inadmissible against him. They said Simone was not a reliable witness. Barry was acquitted and freed. Bibi's sentence was dropped to 25 years, and she'll be eligible for parole after serving 15 years, delivering its..."
I'm very curious as to how they would be overturning Barry's conviction while keeping Bibi's conviction, because they're if the story that they've bought for Bibi's conviction is what happened.
Right. That she's in the car.
That she's in the car while Barry is murdering Neesa. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't. No.
So, or are they suggesting that she was in the car while somebody else that's not Barry was murdering Neesa?
I think they're suggesting she did it and he had nothing to do with it.
Okay, but we're not sure about any of that.
We're not sure.
We don't have actual court transcripts
No.
or none of this makes any fucking sense.
No.
The only thing that seems to make sense is that these two motherfuckers are clearly guilty.
Yeah.
And why was Simone not a credible witness?
Because she had basically been held there for other charges. I believe they were fraud charges. And they were like, well, if she's in there for lying, then she's probably lying.
Got it. So
But-
they called her character into question
Yes.
because she was in there for various fraud charges. However, she had literally no fucking benefit to gain.
None. That's the thing. Why would she lie?
Stepping in and lying about this, right? I
no.
mean,
Also, how would she had so many details? Like, how would
right,
she
she
have
could have just
conjured those?
made all those things up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is she, like an amazing storyteller?
So at this moment in time, Barry's walking around free.
Barry is now free.
Barry's a free man.
He's a free man.
That's the most fucked up thing that I've ever heard.
It is. When I told you were going to be pissed off by the end of this, that's literally why. Delivering its majority judgment, the CCJ held that the sentence imposed by Justice Singh on Bibi exceeded the life expectancy of a human being and was manifestly excessive.
Manifestly excessive? There is no punishment that could be excessive enough for the fucking heinousness
Yeah.
that these people committed.
I completely agree with you. It's complete bullshit. It makes no
What
sense.
type of shit is that? Like that's crazy.
They like clearly do not give a shit.
About anybody or
Yeah.
anything.
No.
Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. They murdered a fucking child,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden now, oh, it's a little bit excessive. That's
Yeah.
kind of
It's a little crazy.
kind of unfair. You know what's excessive is murdering your fucking child.
Yep.
How about that?
That's facts.
How about some of that? So fuck the judge too, then.
Yeah.
Fuck the judge and the jury. Whoever came up with that decision, fuck them all.
I agree. It also held that the 45-year sentence imposed on Bibi by the local appeal court was excessive. They found that a sentence of 25 years with parole eligibility not before 15 years would be suitable and credited her for time spent on remand, which adds up to 5 years. I honestly just can't believe that like they thought life in prison is just too much for killing
This
a
is
kid.
crazy. So first of all, she's gonna be out in not that long.
Yeah.
And Barry's walking around enjoying his life.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
I hope he's not. I hope he's not enjoying his life.
I agree. And that is final detail on the case. That's where we are today.
Wow, that's a fucked up case.
It is a fucked up case.
I'm gonna be depressed for the rest of the day.
May Neesa rest in peace.
May Neesa rest in peace. She deserved far, far better than she got.
She did deserve far better than she got.
Literally everyone in her life failed her.
And to think once again that that's not uncommon.
If there's a moral to the story, it's just try to be a little bit vigilant to situations around you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that you have to involve yourself in everybody's business, but, you know, from places that you interact with, especially children,
Yeah.
you know, places that you interact with children, just always try to be aware that, you know, the child is acting normal, that things seem normal. Man, for God's sake, if a child reports to you that something is going on at home and then change it, like, look into it.
Yeah, don't dismiss it.
Don't just fucking dismiss it.
You
Yeah.
could save a life.
Wow, this is a heartbreaking story.
It is a heartbreaking story. And that's a wrap on our true crime, our first true crime episode of Ectoplasm and Evil. We will be back next week with a paranormal episode.
Hopefully a little bit lighter.
It will be a little bit lighter.
Hopefully a lot bit lighter.
It will be a lot of bit lighter.
Ghosts are fun,
The ghosts are fun.
usually.
They are. Thank you to everybody who listened.
Thanks for listening. And that's it today for Ectoplasm and Evil. We'll see you next time.
Or will we?
Ah.